All right, guys, so quick review. We've gone over this in class. We've gone over the questions. You have notes to help you with all these problems, but just in case you get stuck on a problem, here's a video to kind of walk you through it. So number one, 6 to the 5th times 6 to the 7th. The bases are the same, so you can add the exponents. 5 plus 7, so that becomes 6 to the 12th power. Okay. Number two, use the product rule. Everything's being multiplied, so we can multiply things with the same base together. The 4 and the -6 multiply to -24. Z to the 11th, Z to the 6th, and Z to the 3rd. We can combine those by adding the exponent. So we get Z to the 20th power. Number three, simplify the expression C to the 9th to the 2nd power. When you have an exponent raised to another exponent, you times those exponents together, and that becomes C to the 18th power. A to the -3rd to the 3rd, same thing. We take the exponent, times it by the other exponent. That becomes A to the -9th. But it wants positive exponents in our answer. So I need to move that A to the -9th to the bottom of a fraction and make it a positive 9th. So it's 1 over A to the 9th. That's not A to the 1/9. It's 1 over A to the 9th power. Okay. Number five, use the quotient rule. Remember, when you have the same bases on the top and bottom, they can cancel each other out. So x to the 8th over x to the 4th, there's more x's on top. There's 4 more x's on top. So when I'm done, I'm going to have x to the 4th on top. There's y to the 4th on top and y to the 4th on the bottom. So those completely cancel each other out. So my answer is just going to be x to the 4th power. Okay, number six. For same idea, we're canceling things on the top and bottom. So my answer is going to be a fraction, 4 to the 3rd on top, 4 to the 5th on bottom. So I've got more 4s on the bottom. And this, there's 5 on top, there's 3. So that means I'm going to have 2 left over on the bottom. M's, I've got 5 on top, 8 on the bottom. So that means I'm going to have 3 left over on the bottom because I've got more on the bottom. The T's, T to the -5, to change it to a +5, I'm going to move it to the top and make it T to the +5. And now I've got T to the 7 and T to the 5 on top, which can combine together to become T to the 12th power. Okay. Now it probably doesn't like the 4 squared because we can put 4 squared in our calculator really easy. That's just 4 times 4, which is 16 m cubed would be your final answer. Okay. Number 7, 8D.
Faculty and staff, if you please head to lecture 100 right now for a quick meeting. That's everyone, faculty, staff, down to lecture 100 for a really quick meeting.
Sorry for that interruption. Number 7, 8D squared minus 4D squared. Now we're adding and subtracting, so we can't combine the exponents together. But this is just kind of like having 8x minus 4x. You're left over with 4x, but instead of an x, I have d squared. So 8D squared minus 4D squared leaves me with 4D squared. Okay, number 8, adding polynomials. All of these are being added together, so none of the exponents are going to combine. We're looking for like terms. We're looking for variables that are the same. So anything with an x squared can go with other x squareds. X cubes can go with other x cubes. X's can go with other x's. And constants like this 4 can go with the 4. In this case, there's only one x cubed. So I'm going to get 2x cubed. So that goes away. There's only one x squared. So I get 8x squared. I've got -7x's plus another -7x's. That's -14x's. And then I have a +4 left over. So that would be my final answer. Number 9, you have to subtract an entire parenthesis. So remember, when I have a subtraction in front of a parenthesis, I have to distribute that to everything on the inside. So it basically changes the sign of everything on the inside. This first parenthesis stays the same, 6x to the 4th plus 8x cubed minus 3. But this negative makes the 4x squared a minus 4x squared. and it makes the minus 5x change to a plus 5x and the plus 2 change to a minus 2. Now I just look for things that go together. 6x to the fourth is my only fourth power. 8x cubed is my only cubed power. I have a minus 4x squared. That doesn't combine with anything. I have a plus 5x. That doesn't combine with anything. But then I have a negative 3 and a minus 2. Those combine together to become minus 5. Okay, number 10, finding the product. This is just like in 7th grade when you had something like 3 with a parenthesis x minus 4 on the inside. You had to take the number on the outside and times it by everything on the inside. So I take this negative 7y squared and I times it by everything on the inside. So negative 7 times 5 is negative 35. But then I have to do y squared times y squared, which is y to the fourth power. So then negative 7 times 4 is negative 28. And then y squared times y is y cubed. Negative 7 times negative 4, again, is negative 28. But this time there's no y, so it just stays y squared. That would be my final answer. Number 11, 12, and 13 are all the same thing. They're the box formulas because I've got to take everything in this parenthesis and it's being multiplied by everything in this parenthesis. So I take my box and I put x minus 2 on the top and I put x plus 4 down the side. X times x in this box becomes x squared. X times negative 2 becomes negative 2x. This box is 4 times x, which is 4x. This box is 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8. Now I combine like terms and write out my answer. I always start with the one up in the left, x squared, and I always end with the minus 8, this one down in the bottom. But these two, a lot of times, since they're both x's, I can combine those together. 4x minus 2x leaves me with a positive 2x. Okay, number 12, same idea. It's another box problem. We've got numbers on two parentheses that we're multiplying together. So I put the 8b plus 9 on the top and the 5b minus 4 down the side. 5b times 8b is 40b squared. 5b times 9 is 45b. 8b times negative 4 is negative 32b. And 9 times negative 4 is negative 36. So I start up here, 40b squared, and I end with this one, minus 36. And in the middle are these two. 45b's minus 32b's leaves me with 13b's.
Teachers, if you would, please head down to lecture 100 for a quick meeting. That's all. Teachers, please head down to lecture 100 for a quick meeting.
Sorry about them again. All right, so using FOIL another time, a parenthesis times a parenthesis, I make a box, and I put x plus 8 across the top, x plus 4 down the side. These two multiply to be x squared. This box is x times 8, which is 8x. This box is 4 times x, which is 4x. This box is 4 times 8, which is 32. And then I write out my answer. I start up in the left, x squared. I end with my last number, which is a positive 32. And then these combine. 4x's plus 8x's is 12x's when you put those together. Okay, and then the last two are our big X problems. It wants me to factor this quadratic. So I've got x squared plus 10x plus 24. So I put my big X. Remember, the 24 goes on top and the 10 goes on the bottom. And I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 24 and add up to 10. So it could be 1 and 24, it could be 2 and 12, it can be 3 and 8, it can be 4 and 6. And I do have some hints. This is actually, is that a negative? I just covered it up, I can't see. Nope, it's a positive 24. Since this is a positive, they're either both positive or they're both negative. But because they add up to 10, a positive 10, I know that they're both positive. Remember, the signs give you the hints. So 4 plus 6 is what's going to add up to 10. So all I do is put these in my parentheses, x plus 4 and x plus 6. And I think on this question, it actually gives you part of the answer. So all you need to do is find the other part. Okay, and number 15, same thing, big X. I'm trying to factor a quadratic, but this time I get a negative 12 on top and a negative 4 on the bottom. So this negative gives me a hint, because when I multiply my two numbers together, I've got to get a negative 12, which means one of them is positive, one of them is negative. I also get a hint from the bottom number. They add up to a negative, which means the negative is bigger than the positive number. So now I start looking for things that multiply to 12. So 1 and 12, but the big number would be the negative. 2 and 6, the big number would be the negative. 3 and 4, the big number is the negative. And one of these sets is going to add up to negative 4. 1 minus 12, that's negative 11, so it's not that one. 2 minus 6, that's negative 4. So that's what I'm looking for. Positive 2, negative 6. And all I have to do is write my answer in parentheses. X plus 2 from this one, and X minus 6 from the other. Remember, you can use your notebook on the review and the test. So as you're going through the review, use your notebook to try and help you solve the problems. Because if they can help you on the review, they'll be able to help you on the actual test itself.